In Parshat Lech Lecha we have the story of Avraham and his nephew Lot. Lot is a person that's inspired by Avraham Avinu. He tags along with him in his journey, and he looks up to him. He wants to be like Avraham Avinu. We see this later on in the Parashiot, in the story of him and the Malachim. But after he gets his own riches, he becomes rich and famous. After the story of Paro and Avraham Avinu and Sarah, we see a sharp drift from Lot, from Avraham Avinu. They have totally different personalities, perspectives. Lot is desiring the glitz and glamour and the lust in the ta'avot. He's not as careful in monetary transactions and theft and properties. And Avraham Avinu says, this is not a good influence for my family. So the loving Avraham Avinu, who brought everyone close, you can imagine how difficult it must have been for him. He confronts Lot. He says, this is not going to work. Anashim achim anachnu. Yes, we are brothers, but you have to separate from me. Hipared na me'alai. Please separate from me. And then he tells him, he says, Halo kol haaretz lefanecha. Hipared na me'alai. Im hasemol ve'emina. Ve'im hayamin va'asmeila. If you go to left, I go to right. If you go to right, I go to left. Which we read it as, I'll be completely separate. You go diametrically opposed directions. Now that by itself is something of strength of character for a leader of a family, leader of a person himself, to choose social connections that are aligned with your goals in life and not be pulled after even the family members, even the close ones, to have to sever relationships sometimes in that way. That by itself is a lesson. But contrary to the understanding that we just mentioned, Rashi says something so deep and profound. Imasemol ve'emina, says Rashi, not like we said, but bechol asher teshev lo etrachek mimecha. Don't think I'm just dropping you. I'm never going to. You're my family. It's not good for us to be together. We have to separate. We have to part ways. But I will always be there for you. I'll always be shielding you, protecting you, helping you. And that's exactly what we see happening afterwards when Lot was taken captive in the war of the 4 versus 5 Melachim, and Avraham Avinu, risking his own life, goes out of his way to save Lot. Because after all of what we said, which is true and valuable, you have to understand the value of family, the value of community. We support one another as a community. We support one another as family members. And that's something so important. Just because Lot, unfortunately, chose a different path in life, does not mean Avraham Avinu is never going to see him again. Yes, he has the strength of character to sever that relationship, to say, Hipared na me'alai. It's not going to work for us. But at the same time, he's there for him in the time of need. And that is such a profound lesson of measures in life, of a delicate balance in relationships for every one of us to look up to, for every one of us to emulate and to learn. Have a wonderful day.